The conquest of Prussia by the Teutonic Knights is a tale of faith, ambition, and perseverance. It began when the Knights, originally founded during the Crusades in the Holy Land to protect Christian pilgrims, shifted their focus to the pagan lands of Europe. By the 13th century, Prussia remained one of the last bastions of pagan resistance, and the Knights were invited by Duke Konrad of Mazovia to combat the Prussian tribes. This mission presented the order with not only a religious opportunity but also the chance to establish their own sovereign territory. Upon their arrival, the Knights faced immense challenges. Duke Konrad built a castle for them at Toruń, but the harsh land, brutal winters, and fierce resistance from the Prussian tribes made the task daunting. Chroniclers like Peter of Dusburg described their efforts to transform a desolate landscape into a Christian stronghold, painting vivid images of knights battling against overwhelming odds. Success came not just from their martial prowess but through strategic diplomacy. Under the leadership of Grand Master Hermann von Salza, the order secured critical alliances with Emperor Frederick II and the papacy. Emperor Frederick II's gold bull of Rimini and papal backing legitimized their mission, ensuring the conquest was both legal and blessed by the Church. This marked a pivotal moment for the order, solidifying their claim over Prussia. However, their history wasn't without setbacks. A previous attempt to establish a base in Hungary had failed due to conflicts with local nobility and clergy, forcing the Knights to refocus their efforts on Prussia. The Teutonic Knights employed advanced military strategies to subjugate the Prussian tribes. They built formidable castles such as Marienburg, which served as both military and administrative centers. The strategic use of waterways allowed them to control trade routes and isolate the Prussian tribes. Support from European crusaders further bolstered their ranks, enabling them to sustain a prolonged campaign. Yet the Prussians were determined to resist, and their defiance led to cycles of conquest and rebellion. Following their early victories, the Prussians launched a massive uprising. The rebellion eventually culminated in the Peace of Christburg in 1249, a treaty that granted personal liberties and equal rights to free Prussians who converted to Christianity. However, the harsh rule of the Knights and forced conversions reignited tensions. A second major rebellion erupted from 1260 to 1273. Despite fierce resistance, the Teutonic Order, with the help of prominent European crusaders, crushed the revolt and consolidated their control over the region. Once the rebellions were suppressed, the Knights turned their attention to administration. They established settlements, organized the conquered lands, and assimilated the native population. Over time, the distinct Prussian identity began to fade, paving the way for the integration of the region into German territories. The conquest transformed Prussia from a pagan frontier into a key part of European Christendom and a foundation for future German statehood. The conquest of Prussia by the Teutonic Knights blended religious fervor with political ambition. While their technological superiority and strategic alliances ensured their dominance, their actions also brought devastation, cultural erasure, and lasting tensions. After consolidating control over Prussia, the Teutonic Order set its sights on expanding its influence further. The conquest had given the Knights immense power and resources, allowing them to establish a theocratic state. This new order was not just military in nature but deeply administrative and economic, creating a model that blended faith and governance. The Teutonic state became a hub for trade and culture, drawing settlers from across Europe, especially Germans, to populate the newly Christianized lands. The Knights began constructing an extensive network of castles and towns, each fortified and strategically placed to maintain control and foster economic growth. These settlements served as centers of commerce and administration. Many of the towns founded during this period, such as Königsberg and Danzig, modern-day Kaliningrad and Gdansk, would go on to become vital trade hubs in the Baltic region. The order also encouraged the migration of German farmers, merchants, and craftsmen, who brought with them new techniques, agricultural practices, and cultural influences that transformed the region. Despite these successes, the order's ambitions created new enemies. Neighboring states, including Poland and Lithuania, grew wary of the Knights' growing power. Lithuania, the last pagan stronghold in Europe, became the Teutonic Order's primary target. The ensuing conflicts between the Knights and the Grand Duchy of Lithuania became some of the most intense battles of the medieval Baltic Crusades. In the late 14th century, the rise of the Polish-Lithuanian alliance marked a turning point for the order. The marriage of Queen Jadwiga of Poland and Grand Duke Jogaila of Lithuania united the two nations, creating a formidable opposition. This alliance significantly strengthened Lithuania's position, as Jogaila converted to Christianity, depriving the Teutonic Knights of their justification for further crusades against the Lithuanians. The tension culminated in the Battle of Grunwald, Tannenberg, in 1410, a decisive and catastrophic defeat for the Teutonic Order. The combined forces of Poland and Lithuania, supported by numerous allies, crushed the Knights, marking the beginning of their decline. Though the order managed to retain some of its territories, it was forced to cede significant lands and pay reparations under the Treaty of Thorn in 1411. The aftermath of Grunwald exposed the order's vulnerabilities. Internal divisions, financial strains, and the growing dissatisfaction of the local population weakened the state. The Knights struggled to maintain their authority as their once unified mission gave way to factionalism and corruption. In the 16th century, the Reformation brought another challenge to the Teutonic Order. Protestantism swept through Europe, including the Baltic regions. In 1525, the Grand Master of the Teutonic Order, Albert of Brandenburg, converted to Lutheranism and secularized the remaining Prussian territories, transforming them into the Duchy of Prussia under the Polish crown. This marked the end of the Teutonic Order as a sovereign power in Prussia. Though diminished, the Teutonic Order persisted as a religious and chivalric institution, focusing on charitable and missionary work. Its legacy, however, lived on in the cultural and political transformation of the Baltic region. The conquest of Prussia not only altered the region's religious landscape but also laid the foundations for future states, including the rise of Prussia as a dominant force in European history. The consolidation of the Teutonic Order's power in Prussia was a testament to their strategic prowess and unyielding determination. After crushing the Second Prussian Revolt in 1273, the Knights implemented sweeping reforms to solidify their rule. They expanded fortifications, established new settlements, and introduced administrative structures that ensured efficient governance. These measures helped stabilize the region and paved the way for the assimilation of the native Prussian population into a predominantly Germanic culture. Central to their success was the order's ability to attract European nobility and crusaders, who brought resources and manpower to the Baltic frontier. The Knights leveraged their network of alliances to maintain a steady flow of knights, craftsmen, and settlers. These newcomers played a critical role in reshaping Prussia, building towns, churches, and castles that reflected the order's Christian mission and their aspirations for territorial dominance. The order's state was not without its challenges, however. The Prussian conquest attracted the attention of neighboring powers, including the Kingdom of Poland and the Grand Duchy of Lithuania, both of whom viewed the order's expansion with suspicion. This tension led to periodic conflicts and necessitated constant vigilance on the part of the Teutonic leadership. Despite these pressures, the Knights maintained their foothold, relying on a combination of diplomacy, military might, and the enduring appeal of their religious mission. Economically, the order transformed Prussia into a thriving region. Trade flourished as new ports and markets were established, linking the Baltic to the wider European economy. The Knights' control over waterways and key trade routes allowed them to collect revenues that financed their military campaigns and administrative apparatus. Over time, Prussia became a vital hub for commerce, attracting merchants and artisans from across Europe. Religiously, the Teutonic Knights pursued their mission of Christianizing Prussia with fervor. Monasteries and churches proliferated, becoming centers of faith and education. The order worked closely with the Catholic Church to ensure the integration of Prussian converts into the Christian community. Yet, their methods, often involving forced conversions and suppression of pagan traditions, left a legacy of cultural loss and resentment among the native population. By the early 14th century, the Teutonic Order had reached the zenith of its power. They controlled vast territories, including parts of Livonia and Courland, and had established themselves as one of the most formidable military and political forces in the Baltic region. Their castles, like Marienburg, Malbork, symbolized their authority and served as administrative and military centers, showcasing the order's architectural and engineering expertise. Despite their achievements, the order's dominance was not to last. Internal divisions, coupled with the growing strength of their rivals, began to erode their position. The 15th century brought significant challenges, including the rise of the Polish-Lithuanian Commonwealth, which culminated in the Battle of Grunwald, Tannenberg, in 1410, a devastating defeat that marked the beginning of the order's decline. The legacy of the Teutonic Knights endures as a complex chapter in European history. Their conquest of Prussia reshaped the Baltic region, laying the groundwork for the emergence of modern states. Yet, it also serves as a reminder of the tumultuous interplay between faith, ambition, and power in the medieval world. Their story continues to captivate historians and enthusiasts alike, offering valuable insights into the dynamics of conquest, colonization, and cultural transformation.